Nvidia shares falling this morning despite yesterday's AI announcements, but the stock is still up 75% this year. Joining us now for a technical look at Nvidia and some other key tech stocks, Mark Newton, Fundstrat, global head of technical strategy. I would ask you about Nvidia just not being that expensive. Therefore, is it positive? I guess that doesn't say much about the charts. What do the charts specifically say about Nvidia at this point, Mark?
Yeah, look, Joe, it's been very difficult to use either technicals or fundamentals to try to fight this stock based on reasons of either overvaluation or being overbought. I mean, the stock continues to really, as we all know, it's been trading at a very parabolic uptrend. It's risen, I think, 15 out of the last 18 weeks. And certainly, until you see at least some evidence of this trying to roll over, it's going to be very difficult to fight this. I still think that this is going to push higher over the next month. At some point we will get some evidence of consolidation, but attempting to try to pick a top on something that has such momentum, really quite different and difficult. And I'd suggest that really the last few weeks of sort of churning is not all that bearish. A lot of these times these stocks and/or the market can move sideways before pushing higher yet again.
Does the law of large numbers, and that people have different interpretation of what that actually means, but does that ever factor into your thinking, even when you're looking at charts? That, I mean, if something has gone up as much as Nvidia, it just seems like the overhead resistance is going to get tougher as time goes on.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that a lot of stocks, would be to their company benefit to consider stock splits, and that would raise investor interest and having people, have the ability to be able to purchase things that want to be able to buy in round lot shares. But, at some point, the company is going to not be able to continue to, beat and raise to the extent they have. But really, when you look at even valuation, I mean, it's quite compelling, at really a 2.9 free cash flow, versus the S&P, which is about a 3.6. I mean, it's really the best valuation we've seen in the last couple of years on a forward-looking basis. And so that might seem odd given the run-up, but the company continues to do well. Technically, it's in great shape. I'll simply wait until we see evidence of at least a stock making new multi-week lows and/or a monthly low before saying, okay, it's time to move to the sidelines. The story continues to impress. We've managed to exceed expectations wildly. They still have over a 90% market share. And really, the only thing that's limiting Nvidia is really the supply constraints of all these, people on the sidelines, and they're not sure if they want to move because of the B100 or stay, really where they are. But, my thinking is, whenever anybody is sort of caught off guard like this and we haven't had time to catch up, as the saying goes, sometimes when the horse runs out of the barn, you have to go and catch it because it doesn't come back. And so, this story, very similar in that regard.
That's a good one. It's like after, when it's already left the barn is the one we normally lose, but that's right. So
in other words, if you remember, the infamous Carl Spackler, I keep buying. I don't think the selling is going to come around for quite a while. We can go with that as well, if you'd like.
Did you hear that? He just did a Caddyshack. The guy's soaking wet, and he goes, I keep playing. I don't think the hard does. There's a glow. There's an Nvidia AI glow everywhere on the markets, isn't there right now? That's part of the firm tone for the NASDAQ, right?
You're 100% correct. I mean, any company that even affiliates itself with AI in any capacity certainly has attracted investor interest. I think this is a secular wave that really is going to be very difficult to fight. So if you can't beat them, join them. I think that really any sort of pullback that we do get, and there is a possibility from really April into May, that aligns with a lot of my cyclical composite projections. But, I sense that it's still, premature to try to fight trends based on, as we talked about, being overbought or having a large, price, alone. So.